My uncle used to sit for hours without saying a word. Not because he had nothing to say, but because the words inside him were heavy. Heavy like a giant who had learned how to sleep standing up. They called him Tunde. I called him uncle. But in my mind, I called him the sleeping giant. Because I could feel it, even before I understood it, that there was something powerful inside him that had decided to stay quiet. This is the story of my lonely Uncle Tunde. My name is Solomon. I grew up in a small African town where everyone knows your business before you do. Where laughter carries across compounds and elders read your future from how you greet them. We value togetherness, noise, community. So when my uncle arrived from Britain, he stood out immediately. Not because he was loud, but because he was too quiet. Uncle Tunde spoke with an accent that bent our language in unfamiliar ways. British words. African pauses. He dressed neatly, always on time, always polite. Too polite. He would say please to children and sorry to walls. The elders said, "Oh, England has trained him well." But I noticed something else. At night, when the compound slept, Uncle Tunde stayed awake. Staring. Thinking. Waiting for something he never named. Uncle Tunde tried to fit in. He greeted elders perfectly, then overdid it. He bowed too low. They laughed. He ate pepper like it was a test of manhood, and lost. He tried to greet 5 people at once and said, "Good morning, evening, afternoon." We laughed so hard we forgot to stop. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. That was the first time I realized. You can laugh with people and still feel alone. One afternoon, I sat beside him under the mango tree. I asked, "Uncle, do you miss England?" He paused. Then said, "I miss being understood." That sentence stayed with me. He told me how in Britain he was always too African, his name, his food, his silence. And here, he was now too British, his accent, his habits, his distance. He said quietly, "Solomon, do you know what it feels like to belong nowhere?" I nodded. Even though I wasn't sure I did. One evening, trouble came to the village. A land dispute. Voices rose. Tempers flared. Men shouted. I expected Uncle Tunde to disappear. Instead, he stood up and spoke. Calmly. Clearly. Firmly. He didn't shout. He didn't insult. He explained. Negotiated. Listened. And slowly, the fire cooled. When it was over, the elders stared at him. One whispered, "This one has wisdom." That night, I saw it. The giant wasn't weak. He was restrained. Later, I asked him why he stayed quiet all this time. He said, "In Britain, silence kept me safe. Speaking too much made me a target." He looked at me and said, "Sometimes, Solomon, survival teaches you to shrink even after danger is gone." That was the moment I understood. His loneliness wasn't emptiness. It was self-protection. After that day, Uncle Tunde changed. He still spoke softly. But he no longer hid. He joined conversations. Shared stories. Corrected people, politely, but firmly. And when people listened, something in him woke up. The giant stretched. Not to dominate, but to belong. Before Uncle Tunde returned to Britain, he called me aside. He said, "Solomon, never confuse quietness with weakness. And never confuse loudness with strength." He smiled, a real smile this time. He added, "Some giants are not sleeping. They are waiting for a safe place to stand. So if you are listening to this, if you feel too different for where you are, or too changed for where you came from, know this. You are not broken. You are not empty. You may simply be powerful, and learning when to rise. I am Suleiman. He is Uncle Tunde. African Roots. Black British Journeys. And this is the story of the sleeping giant who finally found his ground.